Hi guys, this is just a series I'm going to be doing for my Patreon, and this is all about soloing. Okay, so we're going to get it down to the nuts and bolts here. First of all, there's going to be a few facets about soloing. First of all, technically we need to really know the music theory, some basic music theory. We don't really need to go into depths into that. And then secondly, we need to know some language. Okay, so we've got kind of the technical requirements, but very basic, because blues is when you take it down to its very essence, it is a very basic music form, but it's also it can be as complicated as you like. But we're gonna get the basics of the theory, but also, and that ties in with harmony and theory. So we're playing the right note at the right time, and then we need to have some language. Now, language is what we call licks and riffs and motif. Like a turnaround lick. And in the key of A will be. It will be something like that. That would be a turnaround lick. So we have to have a few of those things on board, and then we have to have the philosophy. What we're trying to achieve, and that's what I'm going to be looking really in this particular lesson, is the philosophy, the concept of your soloing. Okay, rather than getting into the nitty gritty, which I'm going to be doing on my Patreon site. So if you feel this interests you, then please get to my Patreon site, and I'll be doing videos for that from tomorrow. Okay, so lots of videos. Try and do videos every day, and just do a big video dump of lessons. Right. So basically, let's get back to the philosophy, the concept. So when we get on stage, we've got to think. Are we going there to impress, and to just say that we are the best guitar player we can possibly be? Yeah, and maybe that's an ego confidence thing, and sometimes that's our end game. But is it because we want to get there and play some sweet blues and really serve the music and play a style, play a style of beautiful guitar playing, and I've kind of always floated between the two. But really, I think if you really want to, achieve success, I'm not talking about like so that everyone thinks you're amazing, but yourself, if you want to achieve personal sort of satisfaction with your playing, I think it really needs to be about serving the music, playing the right note at the right time, playing beautifully. That's what's going to give you ultimate, a personal success, rather than just trying to play as fast as you can all the time. But that technique, we need that technique, because that technique serves us, to do what we need to do. Because maybe there's some, you want to get into some real fiery moments in the music, and that technique's going to serve you, to accomplish what you want to accomplish, So let's just have a think. Say for example, I'm doing a groove. We could say in A, because that's the first key I actually learned to solo in with A. So let's just kind of get a groove. Okay, so what I was doing there, hopefully you could hear the chords go past, yeah? But what was really dramatic about that performance that I just did there was, imagine the band's going, you've got the bass drum, you might have a backing track, whatever. For me, the most dramatic thing about that, if I had a bit of overdrive, because blues needs a bit of overdrive, but we're clean here. When I'm teaching, I never use overdrive pedals, that's one thing. And there's a reason why, and we'll get into that. But the thing about that playing there, which would really kind of turn your head, I think, in my opinion, was you know, playing long notes over bar lines, yeah? So we were holding that long note with vibrato and a bend. Not all the time, sometimes it was just a, you could just, you know, just without a bend. But with a bend, then hitting a chord tone rather than the root there, that's a third of the 5 chord. It's dramatic because you're holding a bend, which is difficult to do. It's difficult, you need, especially with these 11s, maybe with 8s it's easy, but with 11s, I'm finding, I'm really struggling to hit that note. Okay, so that's dramatic. It's gonna turn your head, especially if you've got a beautiful overdrive, blooming, sustain, and you are just holding that note. Okay, and then you're but you're following the chord changes as well. You know, you're aware of the chord changes. You don't have to change right on the money, you know, because, for example, you know, I'm holding that over that chord and the 1 chord, but then changing for the 5 chord. So, you know, you're holding that bend for 2 bars. A bend in a vibrato. And who does that? Who holds a bend for 2 bars? I do. That's how I play now, you know. I'm really conscious of just holding a note, giving it some beautiful vibrato. And that's going to be 10 times more dramatic than kind of, you know, that's going to be way more dramatic than that. Okay? So that's something to think about, guys. Okay? I'm going to, in my Patreon, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm going to go into what I was doing there, you know, what I was doing in between. Now, sometimes I want to play with intervals, sometimes I want to play with licks, or motifs, or whatever, doesn't matter. But what matters for me the most is my philosophy. You know, when I get on stage or when I'm playing even a jam, what is my philosophy? What am I trying to achieve here? Am I trying to play beautiful guitar to make the guitar sing? Or am I trying to show off? Both have their merits, you know, and maybe it's good to do both. Maybe it's good to achieve the facility to do both. But in my personal experience, if you can go and make the guitar sound beautiful and play long notes with bends, you know, which require a lot of dexterity actually and stamina, especially with 11s or 10s or whatever, I don't know, whatever gauge. I mean, I use 11s, but that's really where you want to be, to have that control, but then come into a really beautiful chord tone of the other chord, you know, resolve it, hold that bend for 2 bars, or over the bar line. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to come back on the 1, you might want to come back on the 2 or 2 and whatever. And that's what makes it unpredictable and interesting, yeah? So hold long notes, vibrate them, get a beautiful overdrive sound, whatever it is, or even play clean, you know. He who dares wins. And just come in on the chord tones. So the audience hears sweet notes, long notes, and that's going to really turn people's heads, or make you as well, and make you happy, make you. It's a philosophy. It's a concept. You know, it's a mindset. So that's kind of where we're going in this kind of soloing course. We're having that kind of thing in this course. We're thinking about what we're playing. We're not just playing willy-nilly, you know, this scale, you know, play this scale and play this, because we don't really want to be, ultimately we don't want to be playing scales, you know, we want to be playing music, you know. You should learn the scales, but never practice scales, you know. Practice, you know, language and motifs and all that stuff. Okay, but we'll get into all of that stuff, guys. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. I will be back with really loads more stuff on my Patreon, though, on the Patreon, because the reason I have to do it is people have signed up and I need to get some material to them. So this is the start of the new Goose soloing course. So thanks guys for watching this.